In Fudo 5 and continually 5.1 version of our PAM solution, we have brought few new features to ease the privileged access management process and to elevate number of existing operational functions. What has come to our attention was a necessity to implement elements that will allow Chief Information Security Officer, for instance, to organize access to certain number of resources in no time and to improve the overall workflow. With the latest version of our system, we have developed just-in-time feature that, as per design, is granting an access to the resources based on requests. The requests are sent by users via user portal, and admin can accept or decline such query on admin panel located under management section on the left-hand side on the request tab. Let's go there straight away. This part was separated into three different sections. First one is designed to keep only pending requests. Second, this is designated to maintain approved requests. The last section is reserved to store the historical recording of already fulfilled queries. So now let me show you how does it work in a real-time environment. Let's go to the portal first. And now on the list of possible accounts, we have two examples of resources that will require additional approval. So let's select the first one maybe, go to the request button and select the new requests. At this point, we may distinguish two types of requests, immediate and scheduled. Immediate requests can be set from this very moment up to next 24 hours. And once user will send an immediate request, its access time starts when the request is accepted. And afterwards, user has 24 hours to start the session and gain proper access. When the user starts the session, the system counts the session time which the user had requested and terminates connection when the requested session time is over. However, if the user does not use the access and does not connect for 24 hours after access is granted, the access becomes expired. For the second type of requests, the scheduled one, the user chooses a start date and the end date, which means access will be granted for a whole day from the start to the end of the date. Try to get an access to that part of resources. Let's select the reason and send it back to our administrator. Let's get back to our Fudo. Now everything depends on votes, and in order to vote you should select the response button. Let's go to the request tab first, to the waiting, and on the right hand side there is a response button, and next thing that will pop out is that model where an admin can accept or reject the initial request. The response reason field is required to activate the rejecting option. If you don't have any doubts about the user requesting access to the resources, you can complete the process without additional comments basically. And to make it possible, just hit the accept button. Before we do that, it is worth to highlight that if one of the voters vote for rejection, the system automatically rejects the entire request. So now let's accept the request that just arrived. Now let's get back to the portal and check if everything is working fine. Let's give it a try and go to web client and see if we're able to connect without any problems, as you can see. Alright, so since we checked that all is working properly, it's time to show you something else, because normally we're accepting all the requests that are pending. But what if we would like to decondition to just simply revert our last decision? Let's close the page because we will not use it anymore. Get back to the admin page, right? So now under the active tab, there will be a single request that is still ongoing. Now, accepted votes can be also revoked. It is quite a useful option, for instance, in case user finishes work earlier than was expected, for instance, right? In order to prevent any possible anomaly in utilization of given access, any granted user or an admin may comply to revoke access with the proper reason. So let's revoke that stage. Select revoke button, and let's get back to the portal just to double check if those resources are still available for our user. It is not working. Now, the last thing that I would cover is the situation where we are having more than one voter. There might be specific situation to have more than a single person to approve all of the requests that are pending. So allow me to show you where you can activate that option with a single approver and more than one person, of course. Go to the administration panel, saves. Now, in my case, it's going to be a main save. So let's open the settings, and within the access request required votes, we need to select different values. Select 2 voters, save the changes. Now, once our user would like to get a proper access, we need to select a new request button, set the reason, Send back to our administrator. Under the requests, there will be different marking on the votes value. So I can respond right away, which I'm about to do, but then under the request tab, there will be still something that is missing. Counters are set for 2. So now, to make it possible, let me log out from my current account and let's search for any kind of response on the second account of mine. As you can see, there's a request pending. A single vote was already placed. Now we need to respond for the second time and accept the request. Account seems to be active, but let's check if it's working. And yeah, we do have an access.